Welcome to the regular meeting of the Library Building Committee. It's January 22nd, 2026, and we are at the South Yarmouth Library tonight. This is a hybrid meeting, so we will do roll call attendance. Tom Pendleton.
Here.
John Greco.
Here.
Vicky Janettos.
Here.
Judy Connors Tarver. So we do have 4 people, and we are at quorum, and I just saw Dorcas walk in. So Dorcas McGurran here is also present. Absent tonight are Sandy Fife and Susan Britta. So thank you, everyone. And do we have anyone on?
No.
Nobody's remote yet. Okay. I'm gonna say yet. Matt will not be here, and Jen and Tim also had another commitment. So we're going to move right into minutes, and we have the minutes of January 8th. I didn't have anything myself, but could I have a motion to?
My only comment is spelling of my name.
Okay.
Editorial, but that's my
No,
only
no,
comment.
that's good. I went right over it. Okay.
I have a motion that we accept the minutes of January 8th.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you, John. All right. Any, okay. And she probably has that, like, she just copies it over, so it's always wrong.
It's consistently inconsistent.
Yes. Oh, it's
No.
consistent.
It's spelled multiple different ways.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we'll get that corrected. And anything else on January 8th minutes? Okay. And we need a roll call vote on accepting these minutes. And yes, if you can vote on minutes even if you aren't present at a meeting. So Tom.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Vicky. You can abstain if you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I wasn't here.
Oh, that's okay. You can abstain.
Aye.
Thanks, Dorcas. Motion carries. So move into the minutes of the 15th. And I'd like a motion to accept these, please.
So moved. Motion to accept the January 15 minutes.
Thank you, Tom. Can I have a second? Thank you, John. All right. And I didn't have anything on these either. Did anybody else have?
I'll go with my same editorial.
Yes, okay.
Other than that, I got-
Okay. All right. All right.
Just spell your name right.
Comment to Sandy that John's name needs to be correct. Okay. All right, so we'll do a roll call vote on accepting these with a spelling correction for John's name. Okay, Tom,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Vicky, so you say abstain. Okay, and Dorcas.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. All right, lovely. Yeah. Ingrid just arrived. Hi, would you like to join us at the table? Okay, all right. Well, you're welcome. If the spirit moves and you'd like to change location. We don't bite. All right, so we're moving into our public comment section. And we have any public comment tonight? Not yet. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so we do have a bunch of updates that we can be talking about. And just here on item number 4, the newcomers group that meets at the senior center has said that we can have a table, that's a table event for us, on March 18th. And that would be, I don't have the details right in front of me, but I think it's arriving at 5:30 to set up for 6 o'clock.
Right. And they give you an hour.
And so you can just be present and hobnob.
Exactly.
So I think that will be definitely a time for us to have the boards with us, not these, since they seem to be mounted, but the ones at
Yeah.
town hall.
No, we have both.
Oh, okay, and so we'll need the easels and, that sort of thing. So when that gets closer, that's still a bit away. But that'll be a nice opportunity. I think the timing is really good, March 18th, because we'll be coming up on our presentation to the select board on March 24th. So that'll be a good group of folks to it. And then on February 1st, this page break was kind of funny, but that's for the PTO from the middle school, and they're having an ice skating event. So this is actually at the Tony Ken Arena, and they said we could have a table there. So that'll be kind of fun. Mindy will be there, but she'll be skating. I will not be skating.
Okay.
What time is that? Is that a?
That's an
Yeah,
evening
that's
thing
an
too, like
evening,
6 to
okay.
8. It's a Sunday evening. Yeah,
Um,
Is it earlier?
the-
March 18th one?
I think it's about the same time frame, maybe 5:30. But I'll get all of those
Later,
details out
yeah.
to everyone,
Great.
so you can make commitments for which fun things you'd like to attend. That one actually sounds like a great deal. I would like it if we could have maybe a few extra people at the PTO one, because that's the population we keep saying we're missing, the parents. And so if we have more people available to
something
talk,
that- Yeah.
we might be able to do
Yeah.
that. And I don't know, anybody have their skates all sharpened?
No.
No, okay. Rotary was mine, and I did not get a call back from them. And the chamber was Susan, and she did hear back, and I'm gonna have to pull up her response here. I think it was a similar thing of we could come in and have a table. See,
Is that their breakfast or their normal?
well, the chamber is different from Rotary.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not finding it, but it's still kind of loose, and they were. Let me see if I can remember this. I think they would give 10 minutes for a presentation. And looking at March-ish.
Okay.
All right. So I'm sorry that she wasn't here to that. Oh, okay. Were there others that we had? Anybody else have any feedback on?
I did reach out to St. Pius Women's Club.
Oh, yeah.
They are all booked till after April, so they had no openings for speakers till after May.
Oh, wow. Active group. Okay. I'm thinking there was one other.
Does St. David's have a group?
I don't know. We didn't specifically assign anybody to call the churches, so we kind of generated their names. Is Richard Banks is the contact person at St. David's. But we didn't have somebody from our work group who was specifically going to do that.
Do you have his number?
I do not. Is it?
Richard Banks?
Yeah, do you have it in cookies for us? I'm sure I can find it. Okay,
Yeah, no, I'm trying to reach out to them.
thank you.
Okay. That's where we were married, so
Oh,
maybe I
my.
can get an in. Although I haven't been there since.
That's
No,
fine.
we don't
That's
need
a bad
to.
one.
We don't need to. All right. I feel like there was one other that we were. Oh, I know, the schools. So I reached out to Tomas, who's the president of the school committee. And he put me to Mark Smith, who's the super. And he said he does a blast to parents every other week. He's doing one tomorrow. But, so every other week, he would be willing to do something. Now, we've been working, Linda and I and other people have chimed in, Mindy chimed in on that facts page.
Mhm.
So, I think that's with you two right now, right? The edits for that. And once that gets firmed up, I think then we can start releasing that. My thinking would be, a couple of paragraphs each time, not to overload people. Like, here's some meat on the, I'm talking about through the schools. Always should have the whole thing, but just to,
Or you mean take a couple questions
Yeah.
each time and
Yes.
just post it.
and then have Mark send them out.
Yeah.
I think that would be good because it's, he said he has a section called community happening.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
Or
But
he
if we
might
put
be
out
able
a
to even link to it.
Oh, I'm sure he could.
You know, he could just say, if you have, here are some frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
If people are interested in learning more about the project. And then I'm sure he sends it, with email, so he could
Yeah.
probably just link it.
Yeah.
But within the paragraph, add a couple sentences that are also in there.
You should have some hooks.
Yeah,
And what,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and then. So when that gets ironed out.
Yep.
Then we can get to him. I wasn't thinking we would have anything ready for tomorrow, but I think, the
I'm
sooner
hoping
the
to have
better.
that, done next.
Great. So then maybe we
I'm
can
using
get
the
him.
snowstorm as my excuse to sit and do it. Then I'll have you you review it and Dave's gonna review it. And then we can keep adding to it based on the feedback that you
Mhm.
receive. You get a lot of questions about, something that maybe is not on there, we can just keep adding.
Right. And I think even just working on it, we generated things like, oh, maybe we should.
Right, yeah.
So that's good. Okay, so what kind of ballpark? Today's the 22nd, 23rd. So what does that end up being? February 6th or something like that for Mark Smith's. Yeah, so if we could do that, I think that'd be great. And then that would dovetail nicely with getting out to the PTO activity and because that's February 1st. So if then it's followed up with something else. Again, that was the population that we were told we weren't communicating well with. So, okay. All right. So St. Pius is full. Tom's going to talk to St. David's. And then,
So my other goal is this week is to meet with and try to set up a meeting with, what is it, Lori? At town,
Lori.
Lori. And get on her schedule for the podcast
okay.
in early to mid-February. So my question here is, do we want to develop the questions or do we want to allow her, giving her the information to develop the questions?
Well, she'll have access to this, and I think she should be able to get the questions out of that.
Okay,
Right?
when I talk to her, I'll ask her,
Okay.
it's really 6 months. If she gives me the questions early, then I can cheat. Have my
Yeah,
prepared
I think
answers.
She'd be more than happy to do that, work on
Yeah.
the questions.
Yeah, I
with
thought
you,
so.
Oh, yeah.
And, some introductory questions and then more in depth about the project.
Okay.
And she'll have some questions about what's your favorite. She always has some silly questions. at the
I
end.
want to talk about cookies right now.
So, weren't we thinking about doing a couple of podcasts with different,
We can do that.
so that might just be a topic for her. Like, how does she want to break them up?
Yeah, when I meet with her, I'll ask her, if we do a succession of podcasts, how many and how frequent And do we want to address different aspects of the program at each podcast?
Mhm.
Um,
And can she incorporate?
can she
um,
incorporate the information off the boards? I can answer.
Could I be on one of those, Amy, or is that gonna be?
You're welcome to join me.
In your opinion?
You're
I
welcome.
think, yeah.
Oh, can you be on
Yeah,
that?
Oh, yes.
Talk about, you shouldn't be, you don't advocate for a yes or no vote, you're just giving information
Right.
about the project.
I mean, what I was thinking was, talking about it in terms of like, these are some of the things that this facility would allow us to do.
Right.
These programs,
Right.
stuff like that.
We're actually under the same restrictions you are.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
you never really, people have different
On the
comfort
face of
levels with,
things, yes.
what appears to be proper and what does not, and that's why I try to be very careful
Yeah.
about those things, so.
Although in speaking with Richard Simon, I did get some clarification on how far we can go, and it's really, we can go farther than we anticipated in terms of what we can say and not say, and how much we can kind of pull the local community. Because you were there last
Right.
Friday, right?
Mhm.
So he talked to the Attorney General's office on the ethics committee and got
Uh-huh.
some feedback. And as long as we, stayed up front, who we are and what we're with, we're pretty much free to do quite a bit. But I'll get some more information.
What's the red line? Advocating for any particular vote?
A vote one way or the
Correct.
other.
Yeah, we really
Right.
can't do that.
Raising money is really not that much of an issue, but asking for, right?
Well, I think
But we
town
can-
employees are different.
I'm sorry.
They're not
Town
allowed.
employees, but.
They're not allowed.
Yeah, so you're a town.
You're exempt.
Great.
I really veer toward what David's position of, always wanting it to look like
On the,
we are
Up
on the up and up, and we are doing what we're supposed to be doing because we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. And we can advocate for people to come out to vote for sure, always. But not what to vote for. All right, let's see. I want to get back to FinCom,
Mhm.
but as far as any more updates on item 4, do we have any more updates? More new upcoming commitments? I realized in looking at Sandy's minutes, because I didn't have it in my own notes, that I was supposed to contact the senior center. So that's on my list for this week. But I did not do that. So even though the newcomers meets at the senior center, it's a different slate of activities.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to number 5, formulating a list of outreach locations. This kind of ties into printing up more trifolds too. So I want to digress to that first. Where are we on the trifold update? Do you happen to know?
I don't, I can check in with them tomorrow.
Okay, so let's see. I'm not sure how to explain this exactly, but until we had Amy, we were kind of floundering around and just like making things happen up at town hall. And then several of us were working on some updates, and I went and sent information to Lori Sullivan, which ended up, my words, an end run around Amy, because she's our town rep, and David certainly. So those folks can't have everybody in every committee coming at them with information and trying to sort that all out and answer their questions, and I totally understand that. So we kind of pulled back on that stuff and it's with Amy now. I'm having trouble with the trifold though, because I think that was another thing Linda and I worked together on, and we sent stuff to Mindy and Rebecca. So I think it's just sitting there, because I didn't even want to send a query out on status. It was just like, okay, I'm just gonna step back until we have our meeting. So it's probably there. We just have new info, right?
Something was duplicated and something was left out, so wasn't it?
They figured that
In
out.
the timeline thought.
In the timeline we updated and
I think it's
stretched.
correct online.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, so what we would need is some trifolds printed, wherever those are gonna come from, and we've been getting like 150 at a time.
Good.
And then those would go to the two libraries need to have them, and then the senior center. Any place else though, folks, where do you go? You know, where do you see things?
How about at town hall? Gonna be time.
Yeah,
coming
well,
up
yeah,
with the
those are the-
stickers and everything.
Yeah, those are the three, I'm sorry, the two libraries in town hall. The first time around, I brought them up to one, Yarmouth too.
Could we do young?
Yeah, I mean, they're voters. We need to get information. Yeah.
Chamber.
The chamber took them last time too. That's right. Yep. Senior center, yeah, they took them. I don't know what they did. What did you say? And I don't know if they ran out or we used to have like a stand.
I still do.
We still have that?
Yeah. There's some, don't you work there?
Okay. Well, I have to make a phone call anyway, so.
It's hard to figure out other places that are not more business related.
Yeah.
These are not that many non-business related spots that you could actually put flyers.
Put them in post office?
That's federal, but it can't be
Yeah.
done.
In the old days, yes, but
Not anymore.
I mean, although they do have their bulletin board, but you can put up a business card, but you can't do anything else.
I know. Yeah, I feel like this one.
all right. Well, we'll have plenty, so we want to get them out there. And then,
Oh, I don't have any. I
I'm
don't
sorry.
have any.
Right, so, because we just re-edited them. So,
Last week,
yes, so David you'll have those first next week. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to 6 here. And do we have any other outreach activities that we are thinking about? Because, let's see, we talked about having like an information session like we had before in March. I don't know if that's still a good time for us.
I thought we kind of decided that was not
Needed.
needed, yeah. I think
Between,
la-
between finance and the board of selectmen,
Selectmen,
that's
right.
basically your information session.
Yeah.
That also combined with, talking with Bob about when he does his,
Right.
preview of town meeting.
When does he
talk
do
about it.
that?
That's
a good question. I would say that he's probably doing it toward the end of March. I would think probably it would be our select board meeting on the 24th, and then I think after that would be,
How does,
That's when we-
and I'm curious, how does he do that? He does it at your select board meeting or he does it in?
no, he does it in a podcast with
In a
Lori.
podcast,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
We get the seat warmed up for him.
Absolutely.
And do we know? Well, if we can get a count of how many people listen to the podcast and it's confirmed that we know that, because I think that's gonna be another key of, are people listening, or I think if people listen, we wanna do more podcasts and do more. if there's only two people listening, or even like Bob, if Bob puts something in and people listen, then it gives you the idea that you may want to do feed follow-up to get
One,
more.
one thing we can
did
do
ask-
is it's,
we did ask Lori
yeah, and it's, it's
So
on
you can
YouTube,
see
so
on
you
YouTube.
watch it, YouTube, and then you can go back and watch it again. It's not something that's one time
Right.
shot. So we could, once we do one, kind of point, somehow figure out how to point it to people and say, hey, go back a look.
You can put it, you can link to the podcast on the website too.
That's correct.
So the website
do
could
that.
have like the, even, could have a link, but it could also have like a little box that has, you know, the meeting, but I mean, YouTube conversation right there, so people can go right on the page and click on it.
Okay. So as soon as you do that,
Mhm.
then just remind Lori that that's what we
Yeah.
would like.
Right.
And then that will be on the project page, the library building committee
Yep.
page, which is linked from the library page.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
George, can I ask a question of you?
Of course.
What is your thought about maybe leaving flyers at the yacht club?
I think that's fine,
Okay,
absolutely.
and then in talking to Karen on, you know, she's in the knitters group and the other groups, and most of the women are from the Cape.
Yeah.
Would she feel comfortable taking a few flyers and handing them out at her?
Absolutely. I think our focus has to be get people out on the 28th of April.
Okay,
That's really has to be our focus.
correct.
Each one of us.
We gotta
And I
get the
said
yes
that to the
votes
board
out,
the
the
other
no
night.
votes can stay home.
Yes, of course. That's right. Well, you know the no votes are gonna come out.
I know,
You know that.
that's fine.
So it's our job, the board and all of us.
Yeah.
To get 10 people to come out and vote yes.
Okay. So when we
That's
get,
our job.
when we get these printed up, I'll make sure that,
Absolutely.
okay. Appreciate that.
Have we ever thought about a town mailing?
I
Bulk
don't-
Mailing?
I don't.
I mean, it costs money.
It costs money.
Yeah.
Well, if we
Even if-
link
Some
it
of
with,
it's gonna go in the garbage, but some maybe not.
but we can link it to the water bill, or we can, is there another water bill?
It's quarterly.
It's quarterly, right?
It'll probably come out in the end of March. Yeah.
That's good timing.
Yeah, because the first one comes out the end of March.
You know what we have to go through for that?
I don't know, I'm assuming
Or you-
DPW, you know, I'm assuming part of it, I don't know.
Because like we get the things for the scholarship and we get, we get other things that come in
That's for
with our bills or what's it, the tax bill, I don't
the
know.
tax bill.
There's always extra stuff in there.
That's just, okay.
All right, so would that be, but that may not be the trifold, that might kick the postage up too much if we could just do a single panel one. But that's just an editing task. I think, so how do we find that out? That's the question on the table.
You go in the town tax bill?
Yeah, or
I guess
whatever's
we-
coming out next.
I can ask. them
Yeah.
Okay.
How they do that, or who they coordinate with. I don't know, you know, what the cost is or anything like that.
Mhm.
How it would be paid.
We have not spent any money. And at one point Bob had
Give us the okay.
approved, yeah, he gave us the go-ahead to have some, those yard signs. And that was, to have the QR code, just so people could come up and take a shot at with their camera to get to the sites, but our sites weren't very good at that time, so we didn't really push forward with that, but that was, it was a little bit of money, it wasn't a huge amount of money, but I think he has some place.
Okay, I'll find out.
All right, thank you so much, Amy. And then
We
we,
don't have trifolds for the 24th of this month, which is Saturday.
No. What's the 24th?
They're having a chili thing at the yacht club. That's gonna be fun.
We could.
You
make
think?
some- Yeah,
Yeah, we could probably.
it's not rocket science.
okay,
What time is your chili thing?
I don't know. But if I could pick them up, tomorrow or
Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have money.
So I'll make sure they're there.
Thanks.
All right. Where are we at? Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on to 7. So this was future timeline and committee member responsibilities and reviewing of our upcoming dates. So this had to do with FinCom and select board. So let's start with, those are 2 big bites.
Oh, with FinCom, do you remember, Dorcas? I think it was gonna be right before your meeting, and I can't remember exactly. Was that like the 8th, the 17th, I think was what Richard said. It was St.
Well, we'll have to
Patrick's Day.
see if, what happened was the select board had changed their meetings for for March that I hadn't realized, and that's why we're now on the 24th instead of the 17th. So when we had talked to Richard, we had talked about putting it on for the 11th.
11th.
Okay.
And so we might want to see if they're meeting on I would assume they're meeting on the 18th because of the fact that we're getting close to town meeting, but
Right.
you know, it would be either the 11th
11th or the 18th.
or the 18th.
Are you doing coffee tomorrow?
No,
Not tomorrow.
no, the high school gets a half day tomorrow. They get out at 10:30. Just the high school. Don't ask me why. I have no
Why?
idea. I have no idea. It's just so weird. I mean, the other middle and elementary don't get it, just the high school.
Parent conferences?
Oh,
No,
do that.
I was thinking
they
maybe,
don't?
I don't know.
Usually on Zoom now.
But they
The
still
parent
have to have time to
conferences,
do it.
parent conferences are, I'm not sure. They have, every month they have an hour and a half early release. And part of that, I think, is for
Oh,
parent
that would be,
conferences.
yeah,
I bet
okay.
they just finished their first term exams.
Okay, so I want to make sure every,
I'm sorry, is the question when is the board meeting?
no, so I think that's exactly where I was going. So I just want to make sure everybody has that date that we're going to select board on 3/24 and not on St. Patrick's Day. And we are, right,
Right,
we
but
don't want to
weren't
be
gonna
there.
We weren't,
Yeah,
Okay.
because we want to go to FinCom first.
So we
And-
either do
and
FinCom on the 11th or 18th, but
and-
I'll talk to Richard.
Okay, and so we'll get that. If you find out, you don't need to wait for our next meeting. You can just
I'll send
let people know,
Okay.
or you can let me know and
Yeah.
I'll put it out. So those are big dates for us. And then the other commitments we had, Matt is going to be away the week of March 16 and March 23rd. So he is not going to be able to be with us for the select board meeting. So that kind of shifts things around for that presentation.
You're gonna send Marika.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about because I just found this out.
He's leaving.
Yeah, he's
16th.
gone the 2 significant weeks there. Although if we're with FinCom on 3/11, then he could be with
could do
us for
FinCom.
that, which that might be a good way to do it, if we could see about getting with Richard.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Fine, fine. Thank you.
I would think, actually, I would agree with you because I think what you would have is you could craft from the questions that you're going to be given by FinCom, pretty much what's probably going to come your way from the select board too.
Yes, yes. And it's just a better sequence, you
Right.
know, to have that and to have a bigger gap too, so we can prep for it.
All right, so I'll see if I can get Richard to commit to the 11th
Okay,
before Matt takes off.
okay.
I think if I get him now, it'll probably.
I think we already got his commitment, didn't we?
Well, I didn't
But you
hear,
can
it was kind of, I thought the 11th was correct, but I want to verify that.
That'd be great. And then,
You go right ahead and do that.
I don't have a problem with it.
okay. And then, that would be great. And then if Marika could come down
Somebody's gotta come.
Yeah,
I'd rather her than, they're all good, but Marika, yeah.
yeah, well, Marika's been, much more hands-on, especially with the staff. She really knows the program
Correct.
inside out and.
Right.
Okay,
Good point.
all right. So I want to keep up our momentum. It's really important now. And it's not that we need to have long meetings, but I think we need to have this kind of regular accountability and keep going. So
I do have video
Yes.
questions.
video question,
Going
yes.
back to even what we talked about with ethics and what
Mm.
us and our town people could say versus public,
Mhm.
because we do have some public people. So public people able to express whatever they want to say?
Yeah.
And are we better off having more public people than not? I mean, do we want to split it any specific way? Less town people, more town people, equal? Is there
In
a thought?
terms of the podcast,
No, in terms of the video.
The
'Cause
video,
I
I
think
see,
again,
I
as I've
see.
watched more and more
Okay.
videos.
Yeah.
Some of the videos the towns put out are mostly library staff.
Yeah.
Some are mostly all public with no town or library staff. So I've seen it both ways, so now it's like, which way do we want to go and why? Because they've hit it with different angles depending upon which library video I watch.
I think it's helpful with the library staff. They can point out where the challenges are. You know, what you have in terms of what you're dealing with here and in West, in terms of that aspect.
But I will say more compelling to me were people that use the library
Right.
that tell the shortcomings of the library.
Do you guys have, you may know some patrons who come in and say,
But that's, I think, that would be what I would be asking David and others, because
yeah,
that seems more compelling to me.
okay.
Hearing whatever age group, because they've interviewed even younger people saying that their children's people, I have to go downstairs and it's not inviting, and, I look forward to a place that's inviting.
So how do we reach out to
I
the-
want to stop this conversation though. I want you to go back
Yeah.
and talk about how you got into this, how you did the search and everything. Okay, because you just went libraries.
My main search started with Massachusetts libraries that have videos to talk about why new libraries needed.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Wow.
And what you get from that is a lot of information.
Wow.
Which includes links to library videos.
Okay. And so did you try to stay within the last 5 years, or you?
They were
avoided the
all
area
from-
or?
All in Massachusetts, all
Right.
from 2020 to recent.
Okay, so,
And I haven't even gone through them all.
but for you personally, hearing the patrons
Well,
spiels, whatever.
the interesting thing, because I was going to ask the question, we brought it up. Some library staff go more into opinion than. So I don't know again, because I don't know with each one, whether they're part of the town, what they're part. So I can't really tell. I mean, one library I had to listen to, the library was in charge of the facility as well. So the facility was in repair, and you heard all the library people talking about what they put into the facility, which then leaves their patrons with nothing. But they did say they're in charge of the facility. I think again in Yarmouth's in charge of the facility. So,
Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
so again, you really need to know what our boundaries are to be able to put together something to stay within our boundaries.
So when you're saying opinion though, I mean, to say, I really can't. I just keep thinking of Joe in that meeting that day when there were so many people out here. So for Joe to say, well, part of my responsibilities are to attend meetings with colleagues. I don't even know who you were meeting with, but I have to do that in the middle of an office, and is that an opinion? And it's hard to do, you know.
I mean, that's a question. That's a perfect thing, because again, one of the things mentioned where staff are able to do their work and how it's in the middle of a library. They talked to a director that talked about, as part of their library checklist, they make sure no one's stuck in the elevator, because they've had people stuck in the elevator.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I don't think that's opinion. I think that's
Yeah,
more
that-
fact.
Well, but I know, but that, well,
Conditions,
Yeah,
you know, they
yeah.
can speak to working conditions, challenges they see with both their own, you know, their own job responsibilities and also challenges that they come across with, you know, what patrons are looking for and what we're not able to provide.
Mhm.
but
And
the
then I
thought, yeah,
think you speak to the fact of what, the new design would allow for us to do. And, you know, the differences between, you know, the existing libraries and what the new programs will provide to the town that we don't currently have.
I mean, we had a perfect example last week, which was I came out and Francis, basically they had a patron call who needed to make a personal, had to have a Zoom meeting of, you know, but they needed a space where they could be alone, because of the nature of the thing. And she's like, we didn't really have anywhere to put them, so I put them in the letter room. I hope that's okay. We don't generally do that, you know, because we don't. I'm like, yeah, I mean, we don't really have a space.
Yeah.
If somebody, we've had people use the reference room if they're, you know, if what they're doing is like taking a class or something, and it doesn't really matter. But if it's something that's personal and they just need a space that's sort of quiet and you know, where they can have a confidential call, that's the only space in the building we have. So that's something that, you know, people need places like that, and it's not always easy to find an appropriate place to do it. So, and similarly, you know, we've got Girl Scouts meeting at West now, but they're just sitting in the back. It's not like, you know, so it hasn't been an issue because it's a weeknight. They're not disruptive in any way, but that isn't really where we would, you know, we would want them to have a real workspace and not be in the flow of the building. So, I mean, stuff like that.
I'll give you one example of what I'm gonna call an opinion. I
Okay.
think it's
Yeah, that's-
good, but one person said, you've heard all the time about build it and they will come. A new library, if you build it, they will come. You don't know what you're missing until you build it. That's not fact, that's opinion, but that, to me, was very impactful for me, because again, people don't realize, and I'm not a believer in building it because you think you're gonna come, but I think in the library, you don't know what you don't know until you have something new. And you need someone to be able to do it. Well, you could back it up with statistics from other libraries, but somebody is really making an opinion, because no one will know
Yeah.
what will happen to Yarmouth until Yarmouth builds it and they come. So that's an opinion.
Yep.
Until it's proven. Other facts help
Yeah.
support it from other libraries, but that's somebody's giving their opinion, which I think has to be a patron or somebody else that
Right.
is passionate, able to state it, to then give that opinion.
I will also say, and this is not an opinion because I met with Andrea last Friday, and she told me, basically, I guess we're waiting on one reviewer, so hopefully that means we're waiting on one reviewer. It's
Oh.
gone through everyone else, so. But she did say that, at least from their perspective, there is a great deal of uncertainty about the future of all of this. So it is true that if this doesn't happen, there is not any reason to believe it's going to happen at any point in the foreseeable future, because there's a question of whether there even will be another grant round due to the uncertainty about the state funding. So I do think that somewhere in all of this, somebody needs to make the point that this is kind of an opportunity that it will not come again. I mean, she said it's weird, you know, they have a wait list of other projects. in this round, and it's anybody's guess if there even will be a building program in 5 years because of what's going on in the state financially.
This is the
So-
last chance for
Last hurrah.
So, you know, they're not sure. She's not saying that's true.
Yeah.
She's saying that they're getting a lot of rumblings about the financial picture and what that's going to mean for state funding on all kinds of programs. And so there's, you know, reason to be
And
wonder what the future will be.
That's the opinion I've had for a long time, based on the current economic situation, what's going on in DC and at the State House, that, you know, the chances of a program like this continuing ad infinitum is probably slim to none. I mean, is this the last round? It could be. Could there be another one? Maybe, but it's very, very iffy because federal funds have been cut to the state. Ergo, state funds aren't going to be going out to the town because they're just not going to be there.
My,
So,
my comment, and I agree with you, but I think how they would package it, and I think Matt, they're never gonna say no.
no,
But it's gonna go
no.
from 5 years to 10 years to 15 years, and
Yeah.
then 15 years later, they go, see, we never really cut it. It's been
Yeah, but-
15 years.
Or 40% to 50%.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for all of us, 15 years.
I know,
We're going to be drooling in our bibs for the most part, but
But they'll never,
What you just talked about, something that the library board can address publicly,
In what sense?
to make something, these ideas, say something like this to the public, that it's something that needs to be considered. Is that something that the library board can do? Their advisory, is that
I'm sure it
extension
is.
of
I'm
advising?
sure it is. But if we're gonna build a library for 30 years, it's not gonna be our library.
No.
It's gonna be the high school
Correct.
kids' library.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna get somebody to talk about the library and what they need, it's not us. It's these high school kids who say, this is what I need in a library in my town.
Right.
Can
I
it be
would
both?
Encouraging this group to reach out to the high school kids, to find some kids who will be passionate about it, get on camera about it, and turn people around and say, this is what I want, because I'm gonna live here. Not gonna say you're all dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live here. This is gonna be my library.
And
This is critical. I truly believe. Whatever you want the library board to do, we will do. I've already got my 10 people who are gonna come and say yes. I've said this to our library board. They're gonna get 10 more people to come on April 28th and say yes. We've made that commitment. But I'm telling you, the people will turn around and look at those young people and say, this is what we need.
I would agree with you, because again, the younger people, and they had one high school people, they had people from 5 to 13
Absolutely.
in multiple different videos, and to me, those were the most compelling, because those are that's the future, and like everything you said, so it's like, that's really to me, the ones that rang out. But library directors are great, but I think to me, the compelling ones were the younger ones that were really
Or even
doing
like,
it.
like kids who are first, second year college students saying, you know, here's my college library supplies all this. I would love to have this in my town. I would love to have this in my town for my siblings, or that kind of a message too. Because, you know, what you were saying earlier, John, about, you know, if you don't know, you know, they don't know. This is their library. You know, this is like 8 times as big as my town library when I was growing up. And but I didn't know. I hadn't read all the books. So, you know, they don't know what it can be.
National Honor Society, can you go to guidance counselors
I-
in the town and ask if they can suggest people that might do something?
That's probably a great
we
idea.
start with the superintendent, and go
Yeah.
to the principal.
He-
Then
he's
talk to
been-
the high school librarian.
And
Those are the kids who are hot for library.
Does anybody know the high school librarian?
Is there a high school librarian? Is also a good question.
what I was gonna ask. Mindy would probably would know.
Okay, so Mark Smith has been very helpful and open to us, even back in the summer when we were doing the info thing, he put stuff out. So I think that's, a super idea.
But I think going back to your skate-a-thon, if we can get permission to talk to people at the skate-a-thon,
Oh.
may wanna share their voice. That's a.
Oh,
beautiful
yeah,
message,
yeah.
'cause That's not that,
Great,
that's not that far in advance.
right.
So if we can capture, and again, what is in the video, you get siblings, one that's a middle school, one that's a high school, and they attack it from two different angles.
Mhm.
It's, two for the price of one.
Yeah.
In middle school, my daughter's a high school math teacher. Never wanted to be a middle school math teacher because she said, if the kids were anything like me in middle school, I'm not teaching them.
They were
So-
great, yeah.
That's
So-
why I become a teacher.
So again, one of the things in video was those tween rooms, and tweens are the toughest people to get into the libraries because they don't want to do anything. But the new libraries seem, because of what they are, able to attract
Yeah.
more tweens than
Mhm.
existing libraries.
Because of the technology, maybe?
The inviting atmosphere
Mm.
that they have their own space and they're able to not be crowded with the space because they're able to have their own space in
Independence that they want.
Yeah.
They don't want to be with the little kids.
Yeah.
right. That's why they're
Yeah.
tweens, right? They don't want to be with the little kids. High school people may not want them. They're on the island. They feel like they're on the island. They don't want to be on the island.
So I think the technology may be an attraction, but I think the space from adults.
They- Space from everybody.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
they don't want to be near anybody.
And specific programs.
Well,
Geared, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, so I'm still kind of reeling from is there a librarian question?
I think there is.
Then book club meeting tonight, we'll meet downstairs.
Yes.
Okay,
How do you turn the book? We want to talk about our about.
Sure,
oh,
Yeah.
hang on,
Yeah,
let's just
I
make
just-
sure.
yeah.
Okay, so what else do you need from this group to move forward with the video? Do you want opinions back or?
I'm
feedback
in the
back?
process of capturing everything to then be able to have a rough
Okay.
skit or whatever you want to call it, then
That's
with
storyboard.
storyboard with then people that maybe, and then those are just gonna be suggestions, and the reach out happens as to can we get these type of people, yada, yada, and all that. That's
Okay.
gonna be beyond what I know, but I can at least put ideas as to who I think we need to say this certain thing or address this issue.
Okay, so let's make this, a high agenda item for next time. And, if we can be thinking about things that could, augment or supplement, John's project with the video.
Okay,
So-
So we should all think about that. going
Yes,
forward.
please. Okay, yes, now.
So Amy and I had a conversation yesterday, right? And it was about the second estimate.
Oh, yes,
So
oh,
I did look into the contract. It is in, Accenture's contract as a possibility if if needed.
right,
I'd like to get a little more information from them as to, why they feel it's needed.
Okay,
I know that you said that there was a general consensus among the committee that it would be a good
yeah,
idea.
right,
Funding is very tight,
right.
so, I think we could manage it, but, it is,
Okay.
we have to see, I wanna see what else is coming in for the last month. And,
Okay.
we can kind of make that decision.
Okay,
But we have to make it fairly soon.
Right.
right, yeah.
Because
It would, sorry, Amy, it would be an additional cost or it's just part of what we owe them from the contract?
well, we have money within their contract. However, we've overspent in other areas because there were other studies that were done, that we didn't anticipate.
Right.
So I want to kind of reconcile all those
Mhm.
costs,
Mhm.
and see, because we have money that we still can spend with Accenture, that, you know, within their contract, they had a, you know,
Not to exceed.
not to exceed amount.
Yeah.
Thank you. So there is still some funding within that, so we could use some of that funding for, but we also overspent in other areas, so I wanna kind of reconcile those.
Okay.
And see if I feel comfortable making that recommendation
Okay.
to all of you.
Right, so Jen's point was that, just what you just said, that they hadn't fulfilled that. I just want to make sure everybody's followed that. But the town still comes out of the town's piggy bank, whether it goes to Accenture within their contract, or it goes to, Odello for additional,
We did some additional survey
Funding.
work,
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
new
so,
design.
mhm.
So the conversation pro second opinion was to be able to meet the yeah buts. Yeah, but did you look at this? Yeah, but did you look at that? Yeah, but who says that estimator really knows what's going on, and be able to say, well, there were two. And also the whole idea of a discrepancy between two, and being able to reconcile that before we went
Mhm,
to town meeting.
mhm.
I do think that has some power. So I'm hoping you can find it.
Judy, I
Yes.
do have a comment based upon looking at the meeting minutes,
Mm,
and I know it was mentioned, but once I read the 9,900 in writing, based upon my own estimates that I've given people,
oh, yeah,
you're not gonna do a total independent estimate for 9,900. I would never quote my client. 9,900 gives you nothing. So we really have to then start looking at
What
what,
are we getting for
what are we
99?
getting for 9,900? Because,
Well, maybe it's a good question to ask Matt, what's his estimate gonna cost? Right?
yeah,
She's saying it's 9,000 or,
Like that.
9,900.
Like that.
I'm sure is what the other.
That's a good point. We can ask Matt and see
Yeah.
what his estimate on his estimate is.
right,
yeah,
no,
And then
then at least you know you're getting apples to apples.
if he comes back and says it's what, 40, well, what are you gonna get for 9? A quarter of that?
okay, I'll get in touch with Matt about
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Unless one of you wants to do that, do you?
I can ask that. I'll work on it. I'll find
Okay.
it.
Cause then that'll help you make your decision. Okay. Anything else? Well, I think we've covered a lot of territory.
We're good?
actually.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we're just gonna keep our placeholder once a week.
Yes. I just say I would much rather just keep up the momentum, keep the meeting short and, okay.
What
Okay.
would you like us to do, for next time? To look at videos and think of like storyboards?
Yeah, anything to support the video project would be great,
Okay.
because, personally, I've just kind of said, yay, John. So anything,
I mean, I think again, what I got out of it was trying to ask myself who the audience is and who's gonna do it, and whose library is it? I will stay with
yeah,
George said.
I-
We will all either be dead or whatever. So it's none of us in 30 years. Yeah.
You'll
well,
be here.
yeah,
Maybe they'll find
yeah. Right.
I don't wanna do it.
longevity. insurance.
You can come
30
visit me, Vicky. 30 years.
No thanks.
So those are, those are,
You can take me to the library.
there you go.
With that,
Vicky will take us all to the library.
She'll be driving.
we get a triple wheelchair.
The wheelchair van, okay. All right, folks, focus. Okay,
So
yeah.
I think
so
that's the
Nancy-
part that we really have to think about, the audience, who we're trying to draw in and garner support. And maybe the kids will get their parents to go vote.
John, I really wanna say thank you for that.
Yes.
It's really huge, and I really, for one, really appreciate
Yes, I do too. I do too. It's so much. Um,
Lot of work.
back to your question, yes, so. And any places that you think you could drop off brochures after, we'll have a bunch of them next week, so. You can just, like George is
They're right
saying,
there.
put them in your bag. And when you had lunch, here. You know, did you know I was on this committee? You won't believe what we're doing. Anything else for the good of the cause? Okay, so next meeting next week, and we'll push up the video to a higher point and see what else we can identify. The agenda will look very similar, okay, because this is what we're doing.
I don't know if we're gonna have any type of formal response from the VLC in terms of like written comments or anything, but obviously if we do, then
That's,
we could talk about that.
Okay.
Next week.
we can put it, you want to put a placeholder?
I will
on
put
the
it-
Yeah,
agenda?
I
that's a
suppose
good
probably.
idea.
I mean, certainly by then, given that it's the 29th, I would be rather surprised if we hadn't heard, you know, something, because there would only be one more work day in the month, so I would imagine we'll have some type of feedback.
That'd be great.
Okay, so Amy's gonna follow up with the mailing question at town hall and talking to Matt about the estimate. I'm not, just shoot an email to him about a representative at
County,
select board,
right.
select board, and let him know. Oh, well, after I get your confirmation from
Richard.
Richard, then I'll let him know when that one. Okay. Any other dates, loose ends? All right, thank you all. Great
you.
meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Temperature